Welcome to the Real Estate Deep Dive with Paul D. Garrison from JP and Associate Realtors. We're starting to see headlines about the real estate market cooling off, and it has a lot of people wondering, are we headed back into a more normal market? Well, to answer that, we have 5 reasons why today's housing market is anything but normal. First, let's take a look at the definition of normal. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines it as conforming to a type, standard, or regular pattern characterized by which is considered usual, typical, or routine. So the first reason is mortgage rates. It's been one of the items that has actually fueled a lot of the demand in the market over the last year. So if we look at the interest rates historically over the last couple of decades, we'll see that back in the 70s, the 90s, and the 2000s, interest rates were in the 6 to 8% range. This would probably be what would be considered more normal. And of course, back in the 80s, we saw the spike in interest rates up above normal to the 12% range. But if you look at like the 2010s, 4% interest is still what would be considered a low interest rate. So where are we today? Well, we sit at an average 30-year fix is about 2.87%, quite a bit lower than the 6 to 8s that we've seen as kind of the norm. So the next thing we're going to look at is home price appreciation. So when we take a look at this report from Black Knight, we see obviously the recent up to an average of 14.10% appreciation this past year. This is obviously well above the average annual appreciation rate of 4.14%. I am going to take just a moment here to remind everyone that these are national numbers averaged across the whole United States. These may vary quite a bit based off of your local real estate market. It's also interesting to note that the average for a long time was at about 3.81%, but recently raised to 4.14% due to the strong appreciation we've seen over the last few years. One of the other key elements that's been fueling the craziness that we've seen is inventory or supply. So let's take a quick look at the month's supply of inventory of homes for sale. So NAR says this: months of supply refers to the number of months it would take for the current inventory of homes on the market to sell given the current sales pace. Historically, 6 months of supply is associated with a moderate price appreciation, and the lower levels of month supplies tend to push prices up more rapidly. So a simplified way to think of this is, let's say we have 10 homes for sale on the market. Well, if we're selling 1 home a month, then we have 10 months of supply available. So where do we sit today? Well, nationally, we have 2.6 months of supply of homes on the market. You can see going all the way back to January of 2011 to today, the months of home inventory or months of supply gradually trending downwards until recently it took a strong dip. While inventories have started to recover a bit and we're seeing more inventory come in, a lot of the fall and winter season this year is going to depend on, do we continue to see that inventory coming into the market. Either way, we are still very far from what would be considered a balanced or normal market today. So the fourth item we're going to take a look at is the days it takes to sell a home. So taking a look at the average days on market going all the way back to March of 2019, you'll notice there is a cyclical pattern to this. Homes sell quicker in the summer and spring months than they do in the fall and winter months. But even looking at the fall months of 49, 41 days, 46 days, kind of those peaks, that's still only about a month and a half, which is a pretty fast turnaround time when you think about selling a home. Today we're seeing an average days on market of only 17 days. That's an extremely fast and far from normal sales turn time. The fifth item we're going to be taking a look at is the number of offers per listing. In this graph, we're looking at the average number of offers received per listing across the whole nation. Dating back to December of 2017, we notice where are we at today? We're at about 4.5 offers on average received per listing, down from a high of about 5 during the spring season. Again, this is obviously very far from what would be considered normal. So to answer the question, are we headed back towards a normal real estate market? No, the market we're in today is anything but normal. You've probably heard me use this comparison before, but it's like when you're speeding along and doing 70 miles per hour and you see a cop, you hit your brakes and you slow to 40 miles per hour. Well, it feels like you're crawling along, but you're actually still moving at a very rapid pace. That's where we are. we've slowed from a very hyper seller's market, but we're still in a very strong seller's market, moving along at a rapid pace. Many of the metrics and numbers in this presentation are based off of the national real estate market. However, local areas can vary. Please give me a call and we can discuss your situation. Have questions about your specific needs or location? Please contact me at 214-683-8188 or paul@pauldgarrison.com. Want more information about the housing market and related issues? Be sure and check out my blog at www.pauldgarrison.com. Thank you for your time. Please take a moment to visit our website at www.pauldgarrison.com.